Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a great day for this Monday. Monday at this time, we like to get you caught up in the world of motorsports. It's time for the Monday Morning Race Review, brought to you by our good friends at Tony Morrow Collision Center. And we need to take a look and see what the results were from Marshalltown Speedway. These are what happening, things that happened on Friday evening at Marshalltown. So congratulations to all the winners at Marshalltown Speedway. Now time to take a look at a couple of races at the Iowa State Fair Speedway. First, we'll take a peek and show you part of the modified races. Watch Nick Roberts there in the 23. This guy was on a mission as he proceeds to just continue to pick off vehicles one by one throughout the entire feature event. And before everything was done, one last person to get around, Russ Gladson in the 36. Nick Roberts, you've seen him on the program before, in the 23, hammered down the backstretch and then comes around. Russ wasn't done yet, but Nick does take the victory. Also, another one to keep an eye on was the late model race. Jeff Akey in the 77. See him right there, 6 rows back. He was DQ'd, which is kind of questionable in the heat race. Come to find out it was a measurement error, so he had to start at the back of the field. He said, okay, I can start in the back. I'll just show you guys how you do this, and proceeded to march on up right to the front, taking the checkered flag and winning the event. Congratulations to Jeff Akey winning the late model race after starting from the back over at the Iowa State Fair Speedway. There are the rest of your winners. Damon Murdy had an interesting evening. He ends up winning the race, and then they claim his motor, which means you got to take his motor out and swap it with somebody else's. He was there till probably about midnight or so, just shy of midnight, changing those motors out. So there you have it. Congratulations to all those folks at the Iowa State Fair Speedway. Now I want to remind you of what happened in the Truck Series. Matt Morrow took home another victory. It was victory number 6 for Matt Morrow this year. Steve Jackson jumped in the 23 this week. A big contingency of people on hand to see him. First time back at the Iowa State Fair Speedway in about 6-7 years. So thank you, Steve, for jumping in the number 23. He'll be in the truck again a couple of more times at the Iowa State Fair Speedway. We'll let you know what happened there as well once he gets closer to the events. Also want to remind you that coming up on July 22nd, now this is going to be a big day at the Iowa State Fair Speedway. Sprint cars are going to be there. The 410, Steve Kinzer, is going to be at the Iowa State Fair Speedway. He will be in studio that morning. Delansky's going to be there. Brian Brown, Lasowski, and Rico Abreu, as we mentioned, we mentioned last week, he is going to be there. McCarl, of course, going to be sliding over from Altoona as well. So a lot of things going on at the Iowa State Fair Speedway. Boone, they end up running on Saturday evening as always. Look at that, Todd Inman winning in the stock cars. Inman showing up over at Boone, showing them why people are afraid whenever he shows up and straps the helmet on. So good job out of Inman. Also want to let you know what happened in the Xfinity race that happened on Friday evening. So we'll get you caught up there. Brad Keselowski took home the victory there. So, or Saturday, I should say, Brad Keselowski. Eric Jones had the lead. Keselowski used traffic to his advantage and took the win there. Now, we move along. I want to remind you that the 31st and August 1st that the U.S. Cellular 250 will be at the Iowa Speedway if you want to see the Xfinity Series races here in Newton at Iowa Speedway. So make sure you get your ticket. That's the last event of the season, too. So keep that in mind. Other things that went on or did not go on, they had to call the race because of all the rain we had on Saturday. It was supposed to be kids' night at Knoxville Raceway on Saturday, and I heard from Brian Stickle, the 25th of July will be the rescheduled night for the kids' night for Knoxville Raceway. Another event happened at Knoxville was the Outlaw Dirt Carts. They ran yesterday, and there are your winners for the Outlaw Dirt Carts at Knoxville Raceway. So that was an interesting event. Usually what English Creek is where you see these kind of vehicles run. But speaking of Knoxville Raceway, big events as you see. Harris Clash is coming up Thursday at Knoxville. And so we have the Harris Clash on Thursday. We have the regular sprint cars running on Saturday. So we have 4 packs of tickets. And if you'd like to get these, just go to our Facebook page and either say, I want Harris Clash tickets or I want sprint car tickets. So either Harris, modified tickets or the sprint car tickets, and we'll get some winners at the end of the show today. We'll get you hooked up with those. All right, let's move on and take a look and see what happened Cup-wise, because the Cup Series ran at Kentucky, and look who's on the front row. That is Brad Keselowski and Kyle Larson. He had the quick time, Kyle Larson in the number 42. Jeb Bush and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Tony Stewart getting together. That's not a good situation, but here was a great situation for the number 18 of Kyle Busch. He has a mission. He has to get back into the chase. He has to be in the top 30 in points to make the chase, even though he does have a victory. He was a lot of points off of, folks. At one time, 187 points down. He just clicked off the victory at Kentucky Speedway. He knocked 41 points off of his deficit. Kyle Busch wins at Kentucky. What a great victory that was. They say he's the best guy out there driving. He's got the perfect control when it comes to the vehicle, and he proved it on just yesterday's program. So there you go, 163 of 267 laps led for Kyle Busch. 41 points, made up only 87 points out of the chase. Right now, you can see the folks on the right-hand side of the screen. The ones in yellow have some Iowa connections, including Michael Annett and Brett Moffitt. Good job out of those guys. As we move along and see what else we have, I want to remind you that yesterday was also a great day over at the Milwaukee Mile. This is the oldest racetrack in the world. The first auto race ever held was in 1903 at the Milwaukee Mile at the Wisconsin Fairgrounds in West Allis. Some of those other cool things that happened in the year 1903, including the very first Tour de France. But the IndyCars were racing, so let's take a look at some IndyCar action, shall we? Here we go. IndyCar action from Milwaukee Mile. They always do it upright, as you can see down the front straightaway. This track is about the size of Prairie Meadows, so picture Prairie Meadows with Indy cars on it. That's what happened here. Now you see Ryan Briscoe and Will Power getting together. They hit the wall. They're okay. They were just upset over making contact. But another thing that was really interesting, inside the cockpit from Briscoe. He's the guy that crashed really bad last week when we showed the video of him going end over end at the end of the race. And here's Marco Andretti's point of view from the event. Watch how close he comes to getting involved in this wreck. Nothing. Almost. And here we go, Helio Castroneves. Helio, he had to start at the tail end because he missed the check-in, basically, is what happened. So he powers his way up, but not before this man here takes the checkered flag. Sebastian Bourdais, his 34th win in IndyCar Series racing. He wins. I'll watch this in victory lane. When he gets to victory lane, he doesn't even have his helmet off, and his kids jump in his arms. Kind of a cool moment for Sebastian. So win number 2 this year. He won, I believe, at Belle Island. He won race number 2 at Belle Island. That's his second victory this year in the Verizon IndyCar Series. Helio, as we mentioned, started last. He finished second overall, so good job out of him. Joseph Newgarden looked like he was going to control the entire event, and that just didn't happen as he fell off toward the end of the race. So there you have it. Those are the results from the IndyCar Series. Reminder, coming up this weekend, IndyCars will be here. Iowa Speedway. They're going to race on Saturday night. We have the ARCA Series racing on Friday night. IndyCars racing on Saturday. So hopefully you can join us there at the Iowa Speedway. And Stewart ran last night. There are your winners. Nick Roberts winning again in the modified, so he's on a roll this week as well. Shannon Anderson winning again at Stewart International Speedway. It is 6:51. There you have it. There's your Monday morning race review. We'll be right back with Totally Serious News.